Welcome to this presentation by our group, Kristen, Justin, and myself, John, on motivational interviewing. It's all about clients turning their can't into can. We will explore, firstly, what is motivational interviewing? When would it be used? Motivational interviewing principles, and lastly, the skills of motivational interviewing. So, what is MI? The main idea of MI is to purposely create a conversation around change without trying to convince the person of the need to change or telling them how to change. It was developed by Miller and Rolnick about 20 years ago. It is client-centered, supports behavior change, and aims to enhance the client's motivation to change or resolve their ambivalence by looking at the pros and cons of changing. It is often used in healthcare settings. It usually will last only 1 or 2 sessions. It is very useful to use in healthcare settings to motivate people to change risky behaviours, such as alcohol and drug use or smoking, especially when the client shows ambivalence in wanting or not wanting to change their behaviours. So, what are the elements of motivational interviewing? Important elements of MI are generally called the spirit of motivational interviewing. One aspect is collaboration. Miller and Rolnick stated that, far from being the expert, the therapist is seen as a facilitator who guides the client towards change. The second aspect is evocation. The clinician works to evoke the client's reasons for change and how they might go about it. The clinician spends time asking, not telling. The third aspect is honouring a client's autonomy. This recognises that ultimately it is up to the individual to follow through making changes happen, so empowering them to take responsibility for their actions. The fourth aspect is compassion. The clinician seeks to understand the client's experiences, values, and motivations without judging them. Listen to the short conversation and consider if you can detect any aspect of the MI. Another essential component of MI is change talk. When the client expresses a need for change, the clinician, in drawing out ideas from the client, moves the balance from indecision towards the client taking action. As the client talks more, their commitment to change increases. The likelihood of their behavior changing also increases. This has become known as the decisional balance. As you click the video clip, notice how the clinician gets the client to look at both sides. There are 4 MI principles, represented by the mnemonic rule. Number 1, resist the righting reflex. This means the clinician must resist the tendency to advise clients of the right thing to do. Number 2, by openly looking at the client's motivation to change, the clinician will get an understanding of the patient's motivations and barriers to change. Number 3 is to listen with empathy. And number 4, empower the client. By the client exploring their own ideas, it empowers them to make changes. There are many skills needed when using motivational interviewing. 4 of them are represented by the mnemonic rules: open-ended questions, affirmations, reflecting, and summarizing. Open-ended questions elicit more information from clients. For example, instead of "do you like vegetables," which can only get a one-word answer, ask an open-ended question such as "what vegetables do you like?" Or instead of "is your medication helping you?" ask "how is your medication helping you?" Affirmations can take the form of compliments or statements of appreciation and understanding in order to build rapport and support the client through the process of change. They should focus on specific behaviors. As you click and watch the video, notice how he affirms the client's specific behavior. Reflecting refers to listening to the client. interpreting their message, and repeating back to the client your interpretation of what they have said. As you click and watch the video clip, notice how the clinician reflects on what the client has said. When summarizing what the client has said, the clinician is really checking in with the client to ensure mutual understanding of the discussion so far. As you click and watch the video clip, notice how the clinician summarizes what his client has said. As shown, motivational interviewing is a very useful interviewing method that facilitates clients to resolve their ambivalence around changing their risky behaviours.